Of recent years, there's been a huge shift in the zeitgeist around inclusivity, and the fashion world has experienced this earthquake like none other. Gone are the days of industry-picked supermodels like Helena's, Kate's and Giselle's of yesteryear, and they're now being replaced by a new, more diverse and disruptive set. And with their popularity comes from the ground up, with huge social media followings, global citizenry, and points of view that inspire plurality, equity, and social justice. This new vanguard of models in the fashion industry are representing like never before. The world of fashion can be a brutal space for mere mortals. In an industry that's highly judgy, unapologetically superficial, and sometimes given to ageism and racism and even fat shaming, it's no wonder that most of us wouldn't dream of a serious modelling career, even if we had the ability. And if you're a healthy size 14 and black, forget it. But then, we are not all created equal, and some of us have the nerve to change the conversation with a level of courage and confidence that is frankly awe-inspiring. Of recent years, we've seen a slow shift away from the skinny Caucasian archetypes of beauty towards a much wider style of representation, and some are leading the way in style. Enter Paloma Elsesser.
My name is Paloma.
A model who has defied stereotypes like no other before her.
My mom is African American, and my dad is Chilean and Swiss, so I'm just a hodgepodge, you know?
Paloma's American, English, and Swiss citizenship have afforded her and her sister, Ama, a unique opportunity to revolutionise the space of diversity in representations of beauty.
Women and femme-identifying individuals are under such an incredibly painful microscope of how we're meant to look, not only how we're meant to look, but how we're supposed to be.
Born in London and raised in the predominantly black neighbourhood of mid-city LA, Elsesser comes from an atypical artistic family that she described as hippie poor.
Even though we didn't have money, my mom, she made it a point that I got the best education. It was hard for me. I felt super isolated and out of place because my reality, one, wasn't that I had money or looked like my peers. I felt inherently alone and just not right there. So I felt that going to New York was the best idea. I feel like it's where I grew up.
She and her siblings were a difficult-to-box multiracial minority amongst trendy white peers within the celebrity culture of LA. It made them feel like outsiders with a deep-seated desire to find community. You don't just have rich people as classmates, you have cool rich people. This person is so-and-so's daughter. This person's dad composed the theme to Titanic. This person's dad is James Cameron. And that was strange for me. After school, Paloma moved to the thick of New York City, studying psychology and literature at the New School and indulging in the creative arts with a particular interest in media. Modelling was never on my radar. At best, I thought I could do some personality work. I used to watch MTV and think about how sick it was to be a VJ. However, friends like Australian stylist Stevie Dance thought she had a unique look, equivalent to the curvy models Crystal Wren and Sophie Dahl. Elsesser showed up at modelling agencies, but unschooled in fashion and how to carry herself, she was rejected repeatedly. I wasn't tall enough or thin enough. I wasn't the right kind of plus. I was this chubby, weird brown girl from LA, just figuring things out. This affected her self-esteem and began an unhealthy coping mechanism, which included drugs and alcohol. And while she's many years sober now, it's still an ongoing fight against her addiction. When I was younger, it was drugs and alcohol. Now it's overthinking and money, says Elsesser. So much of it comes back to transparency and vulnerability. Everybody is in pursuit of their own goals, and the byproduct of that is loneliness. We tend to view hardship as something with a beginning and an end. I haven't overcome everything, but I continue to put up a good fight. Elsesser put her aspirations on the shelf, keeping herself busy with growing a social media following and managing her friend Earl Sweatshirt's tour of 2015. Then one day she received an email that changed everything. Legendary black makeup artist Pat McGrath was hunting for new unique faces for the launch of her namesake cosmetics line. Whilst trawling through Instagram, Elsesser immediately caught her eye. For McGrath, the discovery was a once-in-a-lifetime affair, comparable to Hollywood's golden age leading ladies. There's something cinematic about Paloma, says McGrath. She's a modern-day Dorothy Dandridge, or Lena Horne, or Rita Hayworth. Her face, her body, her mind are beautiful, and she has a wonderful personality brimming with fun and joy. Though Elsesser lacked fashion knowledge, she knew of McGrath's legendary work and position in the black community.
And then I remember getting an email from somebody being like, Pat McGrath, like legendary makeup artist, wants to shoot you for her makeup line. So I was like, okay, I guess I gotta leave Lollapalooza or wherever I was, and got on a train. Pat paid for my train to go back, and we shot Gold 001.
What?
That's the first person who had like professionally really done my makeup.
Ingrained attitudes of plus size and the constant rejections led to something of a sense of imposter syndrome on Paloma's first showcase during Lanvin's spring show in 2016. Fast forward from that first winning debut, and Elsesser's popularity has skyrocketed, walking the runway and modelling for Nike, Fenty Beauty, Lorenzo Schola, Fendi, ASOS, H&M, Eckhaus Latte, Mercedes-Benz, and she's also appeared in American Vogue, Vogue España, Vogue Arabia, Teen Vogue, Elle, W, Wonderland magazine, and Glamour. And today, she's even an on-camera presenter for Vogue magazine.
Hey, it's Paloma, and welcome back to Good Morning Vogue and the end of New York Fashion Week.
In 2018, Elsesser was on the front cover of British Vogue's April issue with Fran Summers, Radhika Nair, Adut Akech, Faretta, Selena Forrest, Halima Adem, Vittoria Ceretti, and Yoon Young Bae. Since then, Paloma, along with her sister Ama, have forayed into acting, beginning with the Safdie brothers' Uncut Gems. She's also made waves for Victoria's Secret's 2021 swimsuit campaign, Destination Swim, which has garnered much attention for its body inclusivity. Elsesser's influence is clearly changing fashion. Supporters of her career have gone so far as to credit her with inspiring and revolutionising their designs. Long-term collaborators Mike Eckhaus and Zoe Latta says of Elsesser, Paloma wears clothes so beautifully, and having a dialogue with her, or even fitting things off her every season and getting feedback, has been great. It's not just about plus sizes, it's about how clothing can fit a multitude of people if it's designed in the right way. Elsesser's popularity goes beyond being plus size or multiracial to her advocacy of pluralistic representation in fashion and her passion for connecting with the wider community.
My work is centered in advocating for a spectrum of bodies, and I believe that I can't represent for everyone, but my voice hopefully will carve space for more people to see themselves.
She's a force in the online space, particularly since COVID. Her circle of fans and industry friends, designers, filmmakers, and influencers have united over shared belief in inclusion. Her Instagram following is impressive and influential to a generation of women.
You're very confident in who you are. It makes me feel like, I could do it as well. Like being thick or whatever, or even skinny doesn't mean that you're ugly.
Elsesser is acutely aware of the impact her work has in the fashion industry.
Social media is a place where you're super candid and you're yourself, and it's now turned into a business for you.
Yeah.
How is it managing it? Like, you do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How?
I know. Because kind of tying back to like the mental health stuff, I got into kind of a dark place where I forgot like why I use social media, why I used it. Specifically the girls or the women that like rely on me, like they're there because it's like they like my weird photos of like cars and like railings.
When a size 14 person like myself says no to doing a show, they may not put anyone larger in that show. Therefore, that sample doesn't go into the editorial season. Other girls my size don't get shot in looks that aren't lingerie or a jacket. There's a whole cycle happening. My participation isn't just about me. Not every part of fashion needs to focus on politics and reality. This isn't CNN. But ultimately, we all have a level of responsibility. When she started, there was no one else like her, especially amongst curve models, says IMG's director, Mina White. With her growing influence, Paloma Elsesser is giving back and paying it forward. Buying her family a home, working with Mutual Aid's Community Fridge Program and National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People campaigns, as well as working on her own plus-size label. I want to be making some clothes that are for us, she says with a grin. When I see the clothes that are offered to our community and see what extended sizing looks like, do I feel validated and seen? No. We have to be incredibly resourceful because we don't have the luxury of just walking into a store and picking out what we like. I've learned so much about myself and the next evolution of what I'd like my career to be, she says. It's an immense honour even to be able to do this. But it also feels like something that should have existed long before I started. Being embraced as America's every woman, cool and sensual in one image, the girl next door in another, Paloma Elsesser embodies a new and unique American aesthetic. It has taken her to dizzying heights, giving her a place on the selection committee for the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Award and on the Time 100 Next list for helping so many women feel powerful within their own strong and beautiful bodies. It's clear that her popularity is anything but a fad and that her rising star will be influential in fashion for many years to come.
We need to always be critiquing these just like archaic ways of interacting with personhood, you know, and I think for me as a model and an advocate for these issues, like fashion is a very powerful house to do that in.